Hi, I'm Kelsey Crawford. I'm the HR manager for Daedalus Industrial. We've been around since 2019 and have grown tremendously since that time period. We started as a panel tech building company, usually for the data center industries, and we have grown over the past year to include turnkey automation projects with our engineers and our customers. And we also will do construction sites for data centers with installing our EPMS and BMS panels. I've been with Daedalus for 2 years, and when I started, we were at roughly 47 employees. When we integrated with iSolved and Payfluence, we were right at 50 employees, and we have since grown to 120 employees. From the HR perspective, when I started here, most of our records were physical. We had a lot of paperwork. Our payroll system, or payroll provider at the moment, was doing the minimal amount of entry possible. So we were doing a lot of Excel sheets from a payroll perspective to track hours and manually putting that into our payroll system to pay out. We have done a lot of checks through that system. There wasn't a lot of integrations with benefits or anything else. So our biggest problem at the moment was digitization of records and the lack of that in our system. Our payroll was not integrating with anything that we were using, including our time clock. And so we were doing a lot of manual entry, and then it wouldn't talk to anything else. So it wouldn't talk to our benefits administration system, it wouldn't talk with our learning management system, and we didn't even have an ATS for it to talk to for applicant tracking either. So I think Dan and Penn were very adamant about speaking with HR when I arrived here. They had previously worked with our accounting manager just to get their foot in the door. And once I started from an HR perspective and saw some of the lack of offerings that our current payroll and general HCM system offered for us, I was very open to meeting with the Payfluence team in order to see what they offered. They were fantastic during that meeting. They listened to all of the problems that Daedalus Industrial ourselves had. They learned the specifics about who we are and what our needs were, and then they were able to offer up the solutions that iSolved and Payfluence could fix for us. To say it in the nicest way possible, our previous provider was lacking in the service. We were waiting 2 to 3 days to get an email returned just for an answer. If we got onto a chat system, we were waiting on that chat system for at least an hour before somebody got online to assist us. When we integrated with Payfluence instead, we were able to have a contact that I was able to call at any time, and they knew who Daedalus was. They knew my phone number. They would answer and say, "Hey Kelsey, what's up? How can I help you today?" Which drastically changed the service that was provided to Daedalus. We were able to process payroll faster. We were able to figure out problems more easily, and that just made us an advocate essentially for Payfluence, because they themselves, the service that they provide is extraordinary compared to anything that we were working with previously. And they're local. So if I need to go find somebody, I have actually gone to visit our account manager and service providers just to say hello and to talk through something that was a little bit more difficult that I couldn't really address over the phone, and we needed to sit down together. And that was a fantastic option for us here in Greenville. I absolutely will recommend them. I have recommended them, and I would recommend them to anybody who is looking for an HCM or payroll provider that has that service touch where you have a dedicated contact. You know you're going to be able to get a response that same day, or they're going to pick up the phone for you. It's been absolutely essential to the operations that we have here at Daedalus because we have grown so much. And during that growth period, we've had a lot of opportunities to work with Payfluence on adding in unemployment taxes and working through an ATS system, integrating with their benefits admin. We ourselves are becoming more and more integrated with iSolved for the reason of their service, and what they provide to us is so much better than anybody else in this industry. When you grow as much as Daedalus has, one of the challenges that we've faced is growing into additional states. So we've added on 6+ states in the past 12 months with new hires and new projects, and Payfluence was an absolute blessing to have during that time period. We were able to reach out to Sky and William and to set up the withholdings and unemployment taxes, things like that during that time frame. So HR itself, me and my team had hands off with that. They were able to do that for us, and it was seamless, and we were able to move forward within 2 to 3 weeks into those states. They've done it so rapidly, so quickly, and so seamlessly.